I'm Timothy Harper. We spent countless hours piecing together the story of an innocent little girl whose life was stolen by deception. Donald Smith. His actions would shock an entire nation. This is the story of Cherish Periwinkle.
Tonight, a white van sits locked away in an evidence yard, its rusting shell a permanent reminder of the horror sealed inside. And the man who vanished with it would trigger a desperate search that gripped an entire community. Donald Smith sits inside a prison cell, condemned for a crime so horrific, it shattered a community. It began with a mother's desperation and a predator's patience. Rain Periwinkle, struggling financially, took her 3 young daughters shopping at a Jacksonville Dollar General in June 2013. Donald Smith, twice convicted sex offender, stepped from the shadows with a Walmart gift card and a well-practiced smile. He didn't just offer help, he offered hope. Rain Periwinkle, desperate to clothe her 3 daughters, accepted the ride that would completely devastate her family. This is the story of how trust became betrayal and how desperation met evil. In Jacksonville, Florida, in June 2013, 8-year-old Cherish Lily Periwinkle went shopping for clothes at a Dollar General with her mother, Rain, and her younger sisters, Destiny and Nevaeh. Cherish was described as a sweet and caring child who loved drawing, playing teacher games with her sisters, and had recently learned to ride her bike, spending much of her time outdoors. Rain was stressed financially, openly expressing her concerns to an employee, unaware that a man named Donald Smith was overhearing her conversation. Smith, pretending to be a good Samaritan, approached Rain outside the store and offered help, saying his wife had a $150 Walmart gift card to buy the children clothes. Rain, initially hesitant, felt reassured by Smith's claims of having children himself and his promise that his wife would meet them at Walmart. Trusting Smith, she and her daughters got into his van. After spending considerable time shopping at Walmart, Rain expressed a desire to leave as it was approaching 10 p.m., and Smith's supposed wife had not arrived. Smith insisted on treating the family to food from the McDonald's inside Walmart. Cherish, excited about getting cheeseburgers, followed Smith, who then disappeared with her. Rain continued shopping with her other daughters, unaware that the McDonald's had already closed. Upon realizing Cherish and Smith were missing, she panicked, frantically trying to alert store employees and shoppers, eventually calling 911 to report her daughter missing, describing Smith as an older man with gray hair who had shown unusual interest in Cherish. Initially, the police treated Cherish's disappearance as a missing person case rather than an abduction, significantly delaying the response. Surveillance footage clearly showed Smith observing Cherish closely throughout their Walmart visit, and later leaving the store with her. An Amber Alert was finally issued several hours after Cherish vanished. A tip from the public led police to Smith's white van, and he was apprehended early the next morning, appearing soaking wet and distressed near the vehicle. Officers soon discovered Cherish's body behind a church, brutally assaulted and left partially submerged in water. Smith had an extensive criminal history, with multiple convictions for sexual offenses dating back decades. Chilling jail conversations also revealed his dangerous, predatory nature.
Okay, now she comes up. And I said, no, go back there with your mom. And all I knew was, you gotta go. You have to go. I don't care how, you gotta go. You're gonna kill me. It's your fault. I'm gonna die. I was raped. I'm not a wild person.
By the time Donald Smith's trial began in 2018, the mountain of proof was staggering. A forensic psychologist confirmed it. The state had been warned about Smith as early as 2006, but every red flag was ignored. The proof was right there in his file. Multiple child sexual assaults dating back to 1977. But a state-appointed review team said Smith did not meet the criteria to be held. This allowed Smith to remain free, where he would later murder Cherish Periwinkle 7 years later. Smith showed no remorse for what he did to Cherish. Instead, he blamed the 8-year-old victim, telling a forensic psychologist he was very angry that this little girl followed him and got in the van. In his mind, he was the true victim. But the surveillance video shows that was clearly not the case. It reveals that it was Donald with particular interest in 8-year-old Cherish. And it was he who led her toward the exit doors of that Walmart store. Rain Periwinkle's testimony about releasing her daughter's hand to a predator hung heavy in the courtroom. As the jury filed out, a heavy silence descended on the courtroom, thick with the weight of squandered chances and years of missed warnings.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
They were gone for only 19 minutes. When they returned, their verdict was a swift, brutal answer to it all. Guilty of first-degree murder, guilty of kidnapping, guilty of sexual battery. For the man the system refused to stop, the jury delivered the only sentence they could: death. An appeal in November 2024 was a dead end. The trial court denied it, the appellate court refused to review it, and his 2018 death sentence remained intact. In the years that followed, Rain began speaking publicly to raise awareness, appearing on The Dr. Oz Show and Nancy Grace's podcast. Rain explained, when someone approaches you with seemingly good intentions and pretends that they go to church and pretends they're a Christian, why would you not believe them? Hit subscribe and join us next time for the real stories behind the headlines.